Here's a brutal truth. You're avoiding the one thing that would actually change your financial life. Right now, today. You know exactly what it is. Maybe it's finally creating a budget and facing your spending. Maybe it's having that salary negotiation you've been postponing for months. Maybe it's starting that side business instead of just thinking about it. Whatever it is, you're avoiding it because it's hard. And that avoidance is costing you thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. Scott Allan's "Do the Hard Things First" demolishes the biggest lie in personal finance, that there's an easy path to wealth. There isn't. Every person who's achieved financial freedom did the hard things everyone else avoids. They had uncomfortable conversations. They made sacrifices others wouldn't make. They faced financial reality when others preferred comfortable delusion. This book isn't about tips and tricks. It's about a fundamental principle. Financial success comes from doing what's difficult, uncomfortable, and scary. And doing it first, before anything else. Stop avoiding money. Take control of your finances. Build a financial system that actually works. Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Now. The subtitle says it all. Stop avoiding money, take control of your finances, and build a financial system that works. Notice, stop avoiding. Most people aren't bad with money because they lack knowledge. They're bad with money because they avoid dealing with it until crisis forces their hand. Over the next 30 minutes, you're getting 8 hard truths about money that most people never face. Each one will be uncomfortable. Each one requires action you've probably been avoiding. But each one, when implemented, transforms your financial life. No fluff, no comfortable lies, just the hard things that actually work. Ready? Let's start doing what you've been avoiding. Chapter 1. Face your financial reality. No matter how ugly. The first hard thing is looking at your complete financial picture without flinching. Scott Allan doesn't ease you in. He starts with the hardest thing most people avoid, calculating your real net worth, tracking every dollar you spend, and admitting where you actually stand financially. Most people live in financial denial. They have vague ideas about their income and spending. They avoid checking account balances. They don't know their total debt. They've never calculated their net worth. This ignorance feels comfortable, but it's destroying their financial future. Allan introduces what he calls the financial reality audit, a complete, unflinching assessment of your money situation. First, calculate net worth. List every asset, savings, investments, property, retirement accounts, and subtract every liability, credit cards, student loans, mortgages, car loans. The number might be negative. That's okay. You can't fix what you won't acknowledge. Second, track every expense for 30 days. Not approximate tracking, exact tracking. Every coffee, every subscription, every impulse purchase. Use an app, spreadsheet, or notebook. The tool doesn't matter. What matters is facing how you actually spend versus how you think you spend. The gap between perception and reality is usually shocking. Third, calculate your true hourly wage. Take your annual income, subtract taxes, work expenses, and commuting costs. Divide by actual hours worked, including commute time. Most people discover they're earning less per hour than they realized. This number becomes crucial for evaluating spending. Is that $100 purchase worth 4 hours of your actual work? Allan emphasizes that this audit is painful. You'll discover you're spending more than you realized on categories you don't care about. You'll see your net worth is lower than you hoped. You'll realize you're further from financial goals than you believed. Good. Comfortable delusion builds nothing. Uncomfortable truth builds wealth. He shares the story of someone who avoided this audit for years, finally completed it, and discovered they were spending $800 monthly on restaurants and takeout, money they claimed they didn't have for retirement savings. The awareness itself changed behavior. Within months, restaurant spending dropped to $300, and the $500 difference flowed to investments. The psychological resistance is real. Your brain prefers comfortable ignorance to uncomfortable knowledge. Allan's advice: schedule the audit like a medical appointment. Block 2 to 3 hours. Gather all financial documents. Do it completely in one sitting. The longer you delay, the harder it becomes. He also addresses the shame spiral. Many people start the audit, see bad numbers, feel shame, and quit. Allan insists, shame is useless. Your financial past doesn't define your financial future. The only number that matters is your starting point for improvement. Bad numbers mean you need to change course, not that you're a bad person. The action step is non-negotiable. Complete your financial reality audit within 7 days. No excuses. No, when I have time. Schedule it now. Everything else in this book builds on knowing your actual starting point. You cannot build a financial system without first knowing what you're building from. Chapter 2. Create a real budget and actually follow it. The second hard thing is creating a detailed budget and following it every single day. Not a vague spending plan, not rough guidelines. A real budget that accounts for every dollar before you spend it. Allan is blunt. If you don't have a written budget that you consult before spending decisions, you don't have financial control. Money controls you. You're reacting to expenses rather than directing your money intentionally. This reactive approach guarantees living paycheck to paycheck regardless of income. He introduces the zero-based budget system. Every dollar of income gets assigned to a category before the month begins. Income minus all expenses and savings equals 0. You're not tracking where money went. You're telling money where to go before you earn it. The budget categories must be comprehensive. Fixed expenses, rent, insurance, loan payments, variable expenses, groceries, gas, utilities, discretionary spending, dining out, entertainment, shopping, savings, emergency fund, retirement, goals, and debt payoff. Every dollar gets assigned. If you earn $4,000 monthly, you assign all $4,000 to categories totaling exactly $4,000. Allan emphasizes the crucial step most people skip: checking the budget before every spending decision. Not just creating the budget, living by it. Before buying anything discretionary, check how much remains in that category. If your entertainment budget is exhausted, you don't go to movies that month. Period. The budget is a ceiling, not a suggestion. The psychological resistance is immediate. Budgets feel restrictive. They highlight that you can't afford everything you want. They require saying no to yourself. Allan's response: budgets aren't restriction. They're permission. A budget gives you permission to spend in categories you value because you've insured money for priorities first. He shares the common mistake of creating an unrealistic budget that requires perfection. You budget $0 for dining out, planning to cook every meal. By day 3, you break the budget, feel like a failure, and abandon it. Allan insists on realistic budgets. If you currently spend $500 on restaurants, budgeting zero won't work. Budget $300. Achieve it. Then reduce to $200 next month. The system Allan recommends is the 50-30-20 framework as a starting template. 50% for needs, housing, food, utilities, transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments. 30% for wants, dining out, entertainment, hobbies, upgrades, and 20% for savings and extra debt payments. This provides structure while allowing flexibility based on your situation. However, he emphasizes that these percentages aren't sacred. If your needs exceed 50%, you have a spending problem, an income problem, or both. If you're serious about building wealth fast, consider 50-20-30 or even 50-15-35, directing more to savings and less to wants. The more aggressive your wealth-building goals, the more you shift from wants to savings. Allan addresses the tracking challenge. Creating the budget takes an hour. Living by it requires daily attention. He recommends a simple evening ritual. Spend 5 minutes reviewing the day's spending and updating budget categories. This daily check-in keeps spending visible and prevents the shock of discovering you've blown the budget at month end. The hard truth Allan delivers: budgeting never becomes easy. Every month requires discipline. Every spending decision requires consulting the budget. There's no autopilot mode. Successful budgeters don't find it easy. They do it anyway because results matter more than comfort. The action step: create your zero-based budget for next month within the next 7 days. Use an app like YNAB or Every Dollar, or create a spreadsheet. Assign every dollar. Then implement the daily 5-minute check-in. The budget only works if you actually follow it, which means checking it constantly. Chapter 3. Eliminate debt aggressively, no matter what it takes. The third hard thing is attacking debt with intensity that feels uncomfortable and requires real sacrifice. Allan doesn't sugarcoat it. If you have debt, you're financially enslaved. Every dollar of debt is a dollar you owe someone else, plus interest. You cannot build wealth while servicing debt. You're building someone else's wealth. He starts with the math. Credit card debt at 18 to 22% interest requires $1.18 to $1.22 to pay back every dollar borrowed. Student loans, car loans, and other debts all have this effect. You're paying far more than you borrowed. Every month you carry debt, you're hemorrhaging money to interest that could be building your wealth instead. Allan presents 2 debt elimination strategies. The debt snowball pays smallest balances first, regardless of interest rates, gaining psychological momentum from quick wins. The debt avalanche pays highest interest rates first, saving the most money mathematically. He recommends snowball for most people because the psychological wins sustain motivation better than saving interest. Here's the debt snowball process. List all debts smallest to largest. Make minimum payments on everything except the smallest debt. Attack the smallest with every extra dollar you can find. When it's eliminated, roll that payment plus the minimum payment to the next smallest debt. The payment amount snowballs larger as each debt disappears, accelerating progress. Allan emphasizes the word attack. This isn't casual debt payoff. This is financial warfare. Every possible dollar goes to debt. Take second jobs. Sell possessions. Cut every expense to the bone. Work overtime. Freelance on weekends. The intensity should feel uncomfortable. That's how you know you're doing it right. He shares examples of people who became debt-free through extreme measures. One couple sold their second car, moved to a smaller apartment, eliminated all discretionary spending, and worked side gigs. They hated it. They were exhausted. But 18 months later, $35,000 in debt was gone. Their income jumped because they weren't paying $700 monthly to credit cards and loans. The psychological battle is real. Debt elimination means sacrifice. You can't buy what you want. You can't go on vacations. You can't upgrade your lifestyle. You watch friends enjoy things you're denying yourself. Allan's response: temporary sacrifice creates permanent freedom. Your friends are still in debt next year. You're free. Allan also addresses the rationalization trap. But my car loan is only 3% interest. I should invest instead of paying it off early. The math might support this argument. The psychology doesn't. Debt creates stress and limits options. Being completely debt-free except your mortgage provides psychological freedom that slightly better returns don't match. He introduces the concept of debt-free date, the specific day you'll make your final debt payment if you follow your payoff plan. Calculate this date. Circle it on your calendar. Count down to it. Having a specific target date makes the sacrifice more bearable because you're working toward a defined finish line rather than an endless grind. The hardest teaching: while eliminating debt, pause retirement contributions beyond employer match. This feels wrong. Everyone says never stop investing. But Allan argues that paying off 18% credit card debt is a guaranteed 18% return, better than any investment. Once debt-free, you can invest more aggressively with the money that was going to debt payments. However, there are exceptions. Keep employer 401k match because it's free money. Maintain small emergency fund, $1,000, to prevent new debt for unexpected expenses. Pay minimums on all debts. You're just prioritizing extra payments on one debt at a time. The action step is creating your debt elimination plan this week. List all debts with balances, interest rates, and minimum payments. Choose snowball or avalanche method. Calculate how much extra you can put toward debt monthly. Determine your debt-free date. Then execute with intensity that scares you. Comfortable debt payoff takes forever. Uncomfortable intensity creates freedom. Chapter 4. Build your emergency fund before anything else. The fourth hard thing is building a fully funded emergency fund before pursuing other financial goals. Allan defines fully funded as 3 to 6 months of expenses in a savings account. Untouchable, except for genuine emergencies. This teaching frustrates people because it delays other goals. You want to invest, buy a house, or start a business, but Allan insists, emergency fund first. Why? Because without it, the first emergency, car repair, medical bill, job loss, sends you back into debt, destroying all progress. The math is simple, but the sacrifice is hard. If monthly expenses are $3,000, a 3-month emergency fund is $9,000. At $500 monthly savings, that's 18 months. That's 18 months of saying no to vacations, new cars, and lifestyle upgrades while money sits in savings earning minimal interest. It feels wasteful. It feels like you're missing opportunities. That discomfort is the point. You're building security. Allan breaks emergency fund building into 2 stages. Stage 1 is $1,000 immediately. before aggressive debt payoff. This mini emergency fund prevents small emergencies from derailing debt elimination. Stage 2 is full 3 to 6 months expenses after becoming debt-free. This provides comprehensive security. The psychological challenge is that emergency funds feel boring. They don't grow dramatically. They don't produce exciting returns. They sit there doing nothing most of the time. Allan's response: that boring, inactive emergency fund buys peace and options. When crisis hits, and it will, you handle it without debt, without panic, without destroying other financial goals. He addresses what counts as an emergency: true emergencies, job loss, major medical expenses, critical home or car repairs, urgent family needs. Not emergencies, weddings, vacations, Black Friday sales, or opportunities to buy things. If you raid your emergency fund for non-emergencies, you don't have an emergency fund. You have a slush fund. Allan recommends keeping the emergency fund in a high-yield savings account separate from checking. It should be accessible within days, but not instantly available for impulse spending. The separation creates psychological friction that prevents non-emergency withdrawals. The action step: calculate your emergency fund target, 3 to 6 months of expenses. Set up a separate savings account and automate monthly transfers. If you're not debt-free yet, aim for $1,000 immediately. Once debt-free, build the full fund before investing or other goals. Yes, this delays fun stuff. That's what hard things are. Chapter 5. Increase your income aggressively. The fifth hard thing is acknowledging that at some point you can't cut expenses more. You must increase income. Allan emphasizes that personal finance focuses heavily on cutting spending, but income growth often provides bigger impacts faster. The uncomfortable truth: if you're earning $40,000 annually, cutting expenses 10% saves $4,000. Increasing income 25% gains $10,000. Both require effort, but income growth often offers more potential. Yet people spend years trimming $5 from grocery bills instead of pursuing $10,000 in additional income. Allan presents 3 income-increasing strategies. First is maximizing current employment. Ask for raises, pursue promotions, change jobs strategically, develop high-value skills, or increase commissions or bonuses. Most people never ask for raises. They wait to be offered, losing thousands in potential earnings. He provides a specific negotiation framework. Research market rates for your role. Document your accomplishments and value creation. Request a meeting specifically about compensation. Present your case with market data and performance evidence. And ask for a specific amount, 10 to 20% above current compensation. Many people get raises simply by asking, when others don't. The second strategy is side income. Start freelancing using professional skills. Consulting, writing, design, programming, marketing. If you do it at work, you can do it for clients after hours. Begin with small projects on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. Build a portfolio, raise rates, and scale. Allan emphasizes that side income should be strategic, not random. Don't deliver food if you're a software engineer. That's trading time for money at rates below your skill value. Instead, freelance coding projects pay far more per hour and build toward potential full-time business. The third strategy is starting a business. This is the highest potential, but also highest effort. Allan is realistic. Most side businesses fail or produce minimal income, but successful ones can eventually exceed primary income. The key is starting small, testing viability, and scaling only after proving the concept. He shares the common mistake of waiting until ready to start side income. People spend months or years preparing, researching, and planning, but never launching. Allan's rule: start before you're ready, sell before you're perfect, learn through doing rather than preparing endlessly. The psychological barrier is time. Everyone claims they don't have time for side income. Allan's response: track your time for 1 week. Most people waste 15 to 20 hours weekly on television, social media, and mindless activities. That time could generate $500 to $2,000 monthly in side income, transforming financial trajectories. He also addresses the exhaustion factor. Working your job, then working side income is genuinely tiring. This is why it's a hard thing. Comfortable people work 40 hours and relax. Wealth builders work 60 to 70 hours for years, sacrificing leisure to build income streams that eventually provide freedom. The action step: choose one income-increasing action this month. Request a meeting with your boss to discuss compensation. Start a profile on a freelance platform. Reach out to 5 potential consulting clients. Launch a basic version of a side business idea. Not perfect execution, just start. Income doesn't increase from planning. It increases from action. Chapter 6. Invest consistently, even when it feels wrong. The 6th hard thing is investing consistently regardless of market conditions, emotions, or circumstances. Allan teaches that the hardest part of investing isn't choosing investments. It's maintaining discipline through market crashes, life changes, and psychological doubt. The principle is simple. Invest a fixed percentage of income every month into low-cost index funds regardless of market performance. Whether markets are up, down, crashing, or soaring, you invest the same amount. This removes emotion and timing from the equation, 2 factors that destroy most investors' returns. Allan recommends 15 to 20% of gross income goes to retirement investing, minimum. This feels like a lot. It means thousands annually that you can't spend now. It means driving your current car longer, living in your current house, and skipping upgrades others afford. That discomfort is the cost of future wealth. The mathematics of consistent investing are powerful. Someone investing $500 monthly from age 25 to 65 at 8% average returns accumulates $1.4 million. Double that to $1,000 monthly, and it becomes $2.8 million. These aren't lottery winner numbers. They're achievable through disciplined investing over time. The psychological challenge is market crashes. When markets drop 20 to 30%, your account balance plummets. Your brain screams to sell, stop contributing, or at minimum pause until things stabilize. This instinct destroys wealth. Market crashes are when investing matters most. You're buying assets at discount prices. Allan shares the brutal example of someone who invested consistently through the 2008 financial crisis while others panicked and sold. The consistent investor kept buying stocks at crashed prices. When markets recovered, those crisis purchases became most valuable holdings. Meanwhile, panic sellers locked in losses and missed the recovery. He addresses the common excuse, "I'll start investing when I have more money." Wrong. Start now with whatever amount you can. Investing $100 monthly builds the habit and starts compound growth. Waiting until you can afford more means never starting. Start small and increase as income grows. Allan also tackles the analysis paralysis problem. People research investments endlessly, comparing options, reading about strategies, but never actually investing. His rule: for most people, a simple target date fund or total market index fund in a 401k or IRA is sufficient. Perfect is the enemy of good. Start with good. The specific system he recommends: set up automatic contributions to retirement accounts on payday. The money moves from paycheck to investment before you see it or can spend it. This pay yourself first automation removes willpower and decision-making. The investment happens whether you're motivated or not. He emphasizes that investing never feels right. When markets are up, you feel like you missed the opportunity. When markets are down, you feel like you're throwing money away. When markets are flat, you feel like you're wasting time. Successful investors ignore feelings and invest systematically, regardless. The action step: increase retirement contributions by at least 1% immediately. If you're not investing, start with whatever percentage you can. Even 5% is better than zero. Set up automatic contribution, increases annually. The goal is reaching 15 to 20% as quickly as possible, but movement toward that goal matters more than perfection. Chapter 7. Have the hard money conversations. The seventh hard thing is having uncomfortable money conversations with partners, family, and employers. Allan argues that avoiding these conversations costs thousands in lost income, damaged relationships, and financial misalignment. The partner conversation is crucial. Money conflicts destroy relationships more than almost anything else. Allan insists on complete financial transparency with partners, combined accounts or separate, all income and debt disclosed, financial goals aligned, and spending limits agreed upon. Hiding purchases, secret debt, or financial decisions creates foundation for relationship failure. He provides a framework for productive money conversations with partners. First, schedule specific times for money discussions rather than fighting about spending when emotions are high. Second, lead with shared goals. What financial future do you both want? Third, address current reality without blame. Where are we now? Fourth, create joint plans requiring both partners' commitment. Fifth, establish regular check-ins to adjust plans and address issues. The family conversation is equally difficult. Allan addresses both adult children needing to discuss parents' finances and parents needing to discuss financial boundaries with adult children. The conversations feel invasive or awkward, but avoiding them creates crises. Does your parent have long-term care planning? Do your adult children expect financial support you can't afford? The employer conversation is about negotiation. Allan repeats what he taught in Chapter 5. Asking for raises requires uncomfortable conversations. Most people never have these conversations, leaving thousands of dollars on the table. The discomfort of asking is temporary. The financial cost of not asking is permanent. He shares the script for initiating salary conversations. I'd like to schedule time to discuss my compensation. I've been researching market rates for my role and responsibilities, and I've documented my contributions to the team. When would be a good time to have this conversation? Direct, professional, and clear. Allan also addresses the hard conversation with yourself, examining your money stories, acknowledging your financial mistakes, and committing to change. Most people avoid deep self-reflection about why they handle money poorly. This avoidance guarantees continuing the same patterns. The action step: Choose one hard money conversation to have within 14 days. Schedule a money meeting with your partner. Initiate compensation discussion with your employer. Discuss financial planning with aging parents. Have honest self-reflection about your money behaviors. The conversation will be uncomfortable. Have it anyway. Chapter 8. Build systems that remove willpower. The eighth and final hard thing is accepting that willpower is insufficient for financial success. You must build systems that make good financial decisions automatic. Allan teaches that the hardest thing about doing hard things consistently is that willpower depletes. Systems eliminate willpower from the equation, the fundamental principle. Automate everything possible so good financial behavior happens without requiring daily decisions. Budget, bills, savings, investments should all run automatically. You set them up once, then they execute forever without willpower. Allan provides a specific system architecture. First, establish separate checking and savings accounts. Checking for spending, savings for emergency fund and short-term goals. Second, set up automatic bill payments for all fixed expenses. Third, schedule automatic transfers to savings and investment accounts on payday before money reaches checking. Fourth, leave only discretionary spending money in checking. This system works because it follows behavioral economics principles. Money moved to savings before you see it never feels like yours to spend. Bills paid automatically never trigger spending decisions. What's left in checking is spendable without guilt. You've already funded priorities. The automation sequence Allan recommends: payday, automatic transfer to retirement account, 15 to 20%. Automatic transfer to emergency fund savings until fully funded. Automatic bill payments. What's left is for variable expenses and discretionary spending. This sequence ensures priorities get funded first rather than getting whatever's left. He addresses the psychological resistance. Automation feels like loss of control. Actually, it's gaining control. Manual money management relies on daily discipline that inevitably fails. Automated systems provide consistent execution, regardless of mood, motivation, or circumstances. Allan also teaches building decision systems through if-then rules. If I receive unexpected income, then 50% goes to savings. If my checking account balance exceeds X dollars, then I transfer the surplus to investments. If I want to make a purchase over $100, then I wait 48 hours. These pre-made decisions remove in-the-moment emotional deciding. The spending guardrails he recommends use cash or debit for discretionary categories. When the allocated amount is gone, you stop spending until next budget period. This creates natural limits. Credit cards bypass these guardrails, enabling unlimited spending that feels painless until bills arrive. He shares the example of someone who automated their entire financial life. Direct deposit 20% to 401k automatically. $500 to savings automatically. All bills auto-paid. $300 per week left in checking for variable expenses. They barely thought about money anymore, yet they were on track to retire at 55. The system ran itself. Allan emphasizes that building systems is the hard thing because it requires upfront effort and trust that systems will work. Most people avoid this work, preferring to feel like they're actively managing money. But active management means constant willpower depletion and inevitable failures. Systems mean consistent success with minimal effort. The final teaching: your financial life should be boring. Exciting finances, scrambling to cover bills, stressing about debt, wondering where money went, are failing finances. Boring finances, automated systems humming along, growing slowly but steadily, never causing drama, are successful finances. The action step: spend this weekend building your complete financial automation system. Set up separate accounts. Schedule automatic transfers. Establish automatic bill payments. Create decision rules for non-automated situations. The work might take 2 to 3 hours. That investment creates a system that works for decades without requiring ongoing willpower. There it is. 8 hard things that transform your financial life when you actually do them. Face your complete financial reality, no matter how ugly. Create and follow a real budget daily. Eliminate debt with uncomfortable intensity. Build a full emergency fund before other goals. Increase income aggressively through multiple strategies. Invest consistently, regardless of feelings or markets. Have uncomfortable money conversations you've been avoiding. Build automated systems that eliminate willpower from finances. Notice what's missing from this list. There is nothing about tricks or hacks. Nothing about cutting a few dollars from coffee spending. Nothing about getting rich quick or easy. Because Scott Allan's message is uncompromising. Financial success comes from doing hard things everyone else avoids. The title says it all. Do the hard things first, not eventually. Not when you feel ready. Not when circumstances are perfect. First. Right now. Today. Every day you delay is a day you stay financially stuck. Every hard thing you avoid is wealth you're sacrificing. Here's the uncomfortable truth Allan makes clear. Most people will never do these hard things. They'll read this summary, nod along, feel inspired, and then do nothing. They'll go back to avoiding money, living without budgets, carrying debt, making excuses, and wondering why financial success eludes them. Don't be most people. Your action plan starts now. This week, complete your financial reality audit. Every account, every debt, every expense tracked. Next week, create your zero-based budget and start following it daily. Within 30 days, launch your aggressive debt elimination plan or emergency fund building. Within 60 days, start one income-increasing action. Within 90 days, automate your entire financial system. Will this be comfortable? Absolutely not. Will it require sacrifice? Definitely. Will you feel like quitting? Probably multiple times. That's how you know you're doing hard things that actually matter. Comfort produces nothing. Discomfort produces transformation. Remember Allan's fundamental message. You already know what you need to do. You're avoiding it because it's hard. Stop avoiding. Start doing. Do the hard thing first. Today, this week, this month. Then do the next hard thing. Then the next. Compound hard actions create extraordinary financial results. Thanks for watching. If this straightforward approach to money, no sugarcoating, just hard truths, resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. That tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Comment with the one hard thing you're committing to do first. And remember, every wealthy person did hard things poor people avoid. The difference isn't talent, luck, or opportunity. The difference is willingness to be uncomfortable now for freedom later. Choose discomfort. Do the hard things first. Build the financial life you actually want. Now stop watching videos and go do something hard. Your financial future is waiting.